If half of your car isn't functioning, but it can still drive on the road, it still means it's a bad car. And this is what's wrong with Warrior. Tactics specifically have a lot of reasons to be shanked in a ditch somewhere. It is supposed to be Warrior's support spec, however half of traits within do their job so poorly they deserve a place in a parliament. Marching orders has as much in common with marching as it has with orders, making your adrenaline-fueled urge for violence mildly contagious. Nothing wrong so far. With that, you can take Leg Specialist, to prevent your enemies from moving when they cannot or barely move at all, and to deal more damage to people whose legs you made go on a walk without them. But if you fancy being an actual support, pick Soldier's Comfort, a trait that makes you heal yourself and allies when you turn adrenaline into dopamine. However, to heal with it you have to violate something with fight or flight responses. Further lies Roaring Reveal, that is a backbone of Fury upkeep for Warhorn Warrior. Empower is also there, because what supports are famous for is dealing a metric fuckton of damage after being buffed by somebody else. And there's also Warrior Scanning, for the occasion when you meet both enemies in entirety of GW2 that have barrier. For the other occasions you have Shrug It Off, a trait that clears one stack of bleeding when you are at full health and fight just started, to then be completely useless for the rest of the fight, since if both of you and your enemy survive 20 seconds in combat, that strongly suggests you're both silver or digging alongside me in search of ultimate bottom under the ranking ladder. Empower allies to the contrary is actually consistent and semi-useful, making your contagious lust for violence more contagious. If everyone hits harder, then everyone hits harder. Shocking, I know. Next in line is Mending Might, one of proofs that ANET's inner anti-drag policies just don't work. Why this trait makes Warrior heal himself when applying Might to allies instead of healing them, like logic, reason and common sense all suggest, is beyond me. Martial Cadence once was a gimmick used by number of builds equal to smallest digit that can be divided only by itself, and after ANET reworked it to grant quickness just to make it irrelevant, by making banners provide quickness better, now best thing about it that can be said is that it exists, which is only debatably a good thing. Vigorous Shouts, on the other hand, is so good in fact it carries entire trait line. Warrior, especially now, can push himself towards full support with shout healing. And finally we come to Phalanx Strength, that does exactly what no one needs anymore. Warrior doesn't need to generate more might for himself, nor for his allies. And as you can see, or hear, I'm speaking to you after all, Tactics Specialization has entirety of 5 traits with very questionable usability, and 2 more that seem to belong in a different specialization. After all, nothing screams support like seeing your phone number on a bloody damage indicator. From a perspective of a support enthusiast, almost every trait in Tactics is either flawed itself or has something else dragging it down. If Warhorn Warrior can upkeep 100% of might on his subsection without Phalanx Strength, what justifies its existence? Tactics require and deserve a partial rework. If you have any ideas, complaints or opinions, know that I have nothing better to do than to read your comments. Crabface out.